humanitarians. They collect the blood for the people, we take care of the people for disaster. That's our job. So we have various parts to us. Red Cross was started by a lady named, who knows? Who started Red Cross? Anybody know? Her name was Clara Barton. Clara was actually a teacher, and her 13-year-old brother fell out of a tree, broke his arm, and I don't know what else. Anyway, she nursed him back to health, and she said, gosh, that's pretty neat. So she became a self-made nurse there on out. During the Civil War, she would go around at nighttime, and she had a donkey and a wooden cart. She'd pick up those wounded soldiers, she'd care of the north side or the south side, take them to a hospital, and get them back to safe. One of the things Red Cross is known for is sheltering. So apparently during the Civil War, and I don't know what state it was, Michigan or whatever, terrible, terrible tornado, must have been this time of year. And the place was just wiped out. So she went to that state and she started a shelter for the people. So from that day on, we've been doing sheltering. So Red Cross was established in 1881. And then in 1900, we got a proclamation from the government, and so here we are today. So, various things we do. Service to armed forces. Well, Civil War. So Clara took care of the Civil War, and then she went to Europe, and she did the Spanish-American War, and she did all those other kinds of things. And so she was involved in war activity all the time. Today, this is one of our big projects, the soldiers. So we take care of the soldiers when they're over there at their spots, Kuwait, where they're at, Poland. And we have Red Cross people stationed there. So they can help the soldier, be it he needs to talk to the people back home or the people at home need to talk to him. And if there's been a fatality, Red Cross helps them get him home and flies the family to whichever base that they're gonna fly. So it's a neat deal. But if you've seen the news, like with Israel, Hamas, and all that kind of business, it's always the Red Cross, the International Red Cross, that drives those hostages in. And they're well trained. It's a long process to get trained, because I'd be scared of that to go do something like that. But yeah, so they bring the hostages. They're not allowed to do any bargaining, but they're like the transport unit. So they're everywhere. There's your biomed. So we do 5 to 7 donation places per day. Every day except Christmas and I think New Year's. Other than that, they're doing it. So we provide blood for all over the United States, except in Omaha, Nebraska, which I always find quite weird. Our blood goes every place else. They collect the blood here and it goes up to St. Paul, Minnesota, where it's processed and then distributed to the other hospitals that need it. So the deal is, when you have a bad disaster, you have people get hurt and you need the blood, and that's where that blood gets sent. So the other things we do, disaster services, that's over there. And they're our first line of service. So say that there's a house fire. So our Red Cross first person called the DAT, Action Team Member, goes to the house, helps the family, buys them some money for housing, and goes on their way. And then we'll talk about what we do after that. Training services. Did you guys take the babysitting classes or okay, there you go. Well, they're still doing it, still teaching, how to do the lifeguard stuff, a lot of CPR classes, so we keep really, really, really busy. But today our function is going to be talking about shelter. So, I should say, if you need to go to the bathroom, it's over there, by the way. So basically, we're going to talk about what we do, the general learning activities, and Red Cross information, so you know what we're up to. Okay, there we go. So, general Red Cross information, basically we're everywhere. We have, so this is our Omaha chapter. We have 6 chapters in Iowa, Nebraska. This is the Omaha one, so we're probably the biggest chapter. And then we have, and so we're all over the place. So when there's something going on, if something happens in Iowa, we go, and vice versa, they come. So we have local disaster relief operations. That's what was going on right now with all those tornadoes and floods that happened, well, from Paducah, Illinois, and then all the places, Arkansas, Tennessee, Nashville. They're really into it right now. And they're putting up shelters. Client health. As a nurse, that's our primary duty, is to help the client get back to normal health. Replace those things that they may have lost in that fire or disaster. Referral considerations. It takes a village. You can never do this job by yourself. We have to use outside partners to help us take care of our people. And then support to Red Cross workers. Juanita is our staff health person for the region. So if something happens to somebody on a disaster, she helps them get the medical care that they need. And then they're going to have 3 scenarios to talk about. Okay, the fundamental principles. But before we do that, I want to show you this. We have a creed to the Red Cross. I think this is really cool. And I don't have mine on today, but Juanita's got hers. She's got a nurse pin on. So when you join the Red Cross, nurse, you get a pin. So this is our creed. So basically, I believe in the ideals of democracy and concept of universal brotherhood. I believe in service to others, obligation to humankind. I believe in my privilege and my duty to teach others some of the knowledge and skills. That's what we're doing today. To bring comfort to those who are in trouble, alleviate suffering, and serve life and mission. Whenever disaster calls, I shall go. Except on the bad list, I said no last night. So here we go. Here's that. So, American Revolution. The American Red Cross prevents, alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. Red Cross is not a government agency. We are a standalone. We are impartial. We don't take sides. We take care of humanity. We take care of the people that need the help. We're neutral and we're independent. Neutral, again, I might have my own political views. I can tell you they're pretty strong. But I don't voice those in a disaster. You know, those people like in Hamas and Israel. I know how I feel about it, but I can tell you, no Red Cross person is going to stand up and say, hey, no, this isn't very going to do it. Independence, again, we are standalone, we're not government controlled. Volunteer, 90% of our people in the Red Cross are volunteers. So we depend on volunteers for our help. Only 10% are staff. Unity, what I do in Omaha, Nebraska, I went the same nurses I do in Florida. Universality, we are world renowned. We are everywhere. There's like, I don't know, 2,500 people here in the United States that are Red Cross. So, the learning objectives that we hope to bring to you today. Identify the activities and tasks associated with providing Red Cross health services to clients in the Red Cross workforce. And to define health services, just so you know, it's a broad term. Not only nurses, but then we have doctors, pharmacists, EMTs, paramedics, nurse practitioners, all of that. They group us all under one health services. We understand the roles and responsibility of the Red Cross in response to local, regional, national level disasters and other emergencies. Disasters start local, and then it goes regional, which means we started here in Omaha. We don't have enough people. We call on our people in Iowa to come over and help us. And then we have a division made up of 11 states, and the national, they come in and help us. So it takes a lot of people to take care of a big disaster. We differentiate between disaster health services versus providing healthcare services and more traditional acute care. We are not acute care. We don't do IVs. We don't give IV drugs. We don't draw blood for us. So if you need that much care, you go to a higher level of care. Okay? This is our divisional map. So, as I said, we're Nebraska, Iowa. So we're from City, Nebraska over here to Dubuque, Iowa, which is a lot of miles to cover. And then we have, all this going is our division people. We meet once a month, divisionally, health services. We talk about what's going on in our area and what's happening nationally. So, your division comes to help, and then the rest of them. So, the Rocky Mountain, West Coast, East Coast. So, and then, I think right now our biggest problems is right here, is where the storms were last night. It's down the Mississippi River, there's still flooding and tornadoes, so it's gonna go on through Saturday, so it's not a nonstop. Okay. We're gonna explain the roles, the purpose and roles of disaster health services, and present the goals and objectives. Okay? So, what do? We help identify and address the unmet health needs of disasters affected individuals, families, and communities. Person comes into the shelter, they lost their medications, blah, blah, blah. We help to replace those items. Provide services to take place in the community and in shelters. So, if somebody needs wound care, we can assist that person to do the wound care. We do what they need. We collaborate with other disaster functions. We have our disaster action teams, which is that guy over there. And he's at his site, checking that house out to see how much damage. We have sheltering, feeding. We don't provide the food. We have a contract with Hy-Vee, so we don't cook it, but we serve it. Disability integration. There are partners who help us get that equipment that maybe somebody lost their electric wheelchair, they need a hospital bed, they help us get that equipment into our shelters. Disaster mental health. So think about this. You have a house fire at home. When those smoke alarms go off, you have 2 minutes to get out of the house. You get up and you go. You don't have time